What's new, 802? I'm Becca Hammond, and you're listening to Vermont Talks. Vermont Talks may include graphic or explicit content. Listener discretion is advised. We're trying this in a whole new space today.
Right.
Welcome, and thank you for listening. Today is the 28th of March. It's Saturday. We're hanging out at the University Mall. We're trying this out today. I'm here with Emma from the War Turtles. And the War Turtles is very loved amongst all my friends. And it's a shoegaze post-rock band. And Emma's been a musician since she was 10 years old and into music even longer. Very fair. 7 albums. It's so insane to me that you have so much music on your Bandcamp. I was a little overwhelmed because I thought that you were a newer band. And then I was like, oh, I'm clearly deeply mistaken. So welcome, Emma. Welcome to my interesting experimental episode.
I'm very happy to be here. It's kind of like an intentional misconception that I've almost tried to set up, that it's like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm new in some ways. But also I have just been doing the War Turtles since I was 16. And like, I was like always just posting stuff. So like it is a band that's been around for a while. And like, I like getting to kind of play with that and have this whole history that people don't know about when they're just finding out about me.
It's really cool. And the War Turtles has the cutest logo, which I'll have to put on the show notes page today.
Thank you.
And we're going to link everything up so you can find Emma's social media. Okay, so starting at 16. Okay, well, backing up now. Were you always playing guitar?
Well, so guitar was my first instrument, and that's what I started with as a 10-year-old. I was actually always like interested in guitar players when I was younger. I was obsessed with Angus Young as a kid.
Right.
And my uncle actually got me this guitar that was just like basically a full-sized Epiphone guitar as a 3-year-old. It was a Christmas present for me as a 3-year-old. And so it was way too big for me. Everyone just said the amp was too loud because I didn't know what I was doing.
I mean, you were 3.
So like, I always had guitars just like around the house. And then I also really loved Guitar Hero as a kid.
Fair.
Both Guitar Hero and Rock Band had the full set of the plastic instruments. And when I was 10, I like made myself a DIY mic stand out of like a Play-Doh bucket and a broom.
Nice.
And basically I was at the point where I was trying to sing on Guitar Hero while also doing the guitar parts because I knew how to sing the songs. And my dad was probably just like, this is ridiculous. And asked me if he'd want me to get one of these guitars fixed up and maybe get a lesson. And it was basically just a 15-minute free Guitar Center lesson where they taught me 3 chords and how to tune the thing.
Right.
And then I ran off as a 10-year-old and I was already like just immediately trying to learn like Iron Maiden and Metallica songs because that's,
as you do,
for some reason, where my head was at 10 years old.
That's totally fair. My first one was Crazy Train. I was like, I'm gonna learn this.
Yeah, I think the very first thing I tried to learn was it was the intro to Wasted Years by Iron Maiden. For some reason, I heard it and I just was like, this sounds cool and like kind of flashy. And it seems like it would be fun even if I can't play the whole song.
Right.
And I like actually couldn't play any whole songs on guitar for like a year or two. I was always just like learning riffs and like trying to learn techniques or whatever. But like it wasn't really like playing songs or anything.
Which is fair. I mean, when you start at that young.
Right, yeah, and especially like kind of no guidance, like mostly just on my own.
Right, self-taught.
Yeah.
Kind of figure it out slowly as you go. Okay,
Yeah.
So when did you give up on Iron Maiden? Because you don't sound anything like Iron Maiden.
Well, yeah, so that was just like that when I was younger and into this kind of like what it was for me was like Metallica adjacent things because I have always been like a huge Metallica fan, and that's kind of what I really started with when I got into guitar. I was in the middle of an obsession with Guitar Hero Metallica specifically. But I really started actually one of my brother's girlfriends introduced me to the White Stripes.
Yes.
And that was like a huge turning point for me into what would kind of start to become my more clear influences.
Yes. I
Um,
personally love Jack,
right.
right? Jack
Yeah.
White. Oh my God. He's
Yeah.
so entertaining.
Yeah, I do I love Jack White a lot. I still follow what he does now. The White Stripes are definitely just some of the best stuff that he ever did.
Yeah.
And Meg White was so interesting to me. And nowadays in the War Turtles when I play live, I'm doing like a million things at once.
Yes.
I'm turning knobs on a keyboard with my foot while singing and playing guitar, and I've got one hand on a keyboard. And
Yes.
all of that very much comes from me as like an 11 or 12-year-old watching White Stripes live videos on YouTube and seeing him like I think of like Icky Thump or songs like that where he's got one hand on an organ and then he's like chugging it with the other hand. And I immediately I was just like I don't care if I can't play either of these well, I'm gonna try to do it. and
At the
so
same time.
right, yeah. So I was just like, why not start early, I guess. And it's like it honestly took a while for me to like convince myself to do that live. I would do that type of thing in my room and then feel like it was like too flashy or like it's like a shtick or something.
Right.
And like I was like, oh no, I'll just stick to guitar and singing. Um and then eventually I started doing it more, working it in maybe in the last like 6 months or so. Um, and everyone always wanted to like see more of that. So I've tried to like make that more of what I do now. And there's also like synths all over my
Yeah.
records. And so I've always been trying to figure out how to work that like the sort of electronic stuff into me playing live.
Excuse me. Sorry, I really wanted to compliment your outfit. It is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. I cut up the shirt myself. But I think I actually probably got this Metallica shirt when I was here as a kid at the mall. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I like your sweater too.
Yeah, that is a very nice sweater.
I got it off of Shein.
Okay. Well, what's your name?
Charlie.
Charlie. Emma.
Nice.
Nice to meet you. Have a good day.
You too. You too.
It's for you. Things you don't get in my, living room.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
bringing it back to the mall. That's so
Right.
funny.
Yeah. The influence of the mall.
Yes, because we were talking in the car on the way here that we are
Yeah.
both rural Vermont farm, or not farm kids. You're not a farm kid. I'm a farm kid, but this was like the apex of like culture.
Right. Yeah.
We were younger, as the University Mall.
When I was 10 and I wanted to get Metallica shirts, I asked my dad to bring me to the mall and we went hunting around Kohl's and JCPenney, and I'm pretty sure I got like 4 Metallica shirts for my first week of 6th grade because
Sweet.
I was at a new school and I wanted to make sure I found all the music heads. And that was my method. I was like, I'm gonna wear a Metallica shirt every day for the first week of school.
Perfect.
And that
Did it
wouldn't
work?
Kinda, yeah, honestly. And that wouldn't have been possible without with the good old University Mall.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so you're talking about the sins and working them in, because I got to see you at Oddfellows last month, I think that was.
Yeah.
A couple weeks. It feels like a couple of weeks ago, maybe more. And yes, you have a lot going on, but it's very cohesive and like, it sounds good. So the last album that you released, which I'm going to plug your Bandcamp harder than your Spotify. So
Yeah.
your Bandcamp is full of stuff.
Right.
What-
There's
what
a
is
lot there that isn't on Spotify.
Okay, even better. So like go to Bandcamp for the underground stuff. What is the most recent album that you released, and does that have a lot of synth work on it?
Yes. So the most recent one is oh boy, here's the full title. It's called The War Turtles. Oh, it's so long I always get it wrong. The War Turtles versus Goliath. Never Really Over Part 4 Winter.
Concise.
Yes. And the album is 20 tracks and 2.5 hours long.
Wow.
There's actually a song that's in a bit of a legal gray area because of some sampling. And so that is Bandcamp only. It's the second to last song on the album, and it's 30 minutes long.
Nice.
So the Spotify version is 30 minutes shorter. Maybe an improvement depending on how you look at it.
Nice.
But all of these Goliath albums are songs that I put together over the course of 5 years, and all of them were started a million different ways, but me doing my recording at home, and there's two kind of main synths. One that I tend to use at shows now. And I also, when I was younger, I got a Yamaha DX7, which is it's an 80s synth it's actually the best selling one of all time.
Nice.
If you know just 80s radio hits, it's the cheesy piano sound or the fake harmonica sound in all the Whitney Houston songs. It caused trauma to a whole generation of kids growing up with the radio, because it just it drives some people crazy. But I love using it in this kind of indie rock context.
Yes.
And this specifically kind of shoegaze thing, which was never really how the DX7 was used. And that and this little Korg keyboard that I use for shows now, those are all over the Goliath albums, because they were the two synths that I had since I don't know, it's for 6 years now,
Right.
probably. And so for 20 songs, there's probably at least one keyboard on each song.
Yeah.
There's very few songs that doesn't have some sort of synth on it.
So you said you're recording these yourself.
Yes.
And I know you mix, so I'm assuming you're mixing all of this yourself too?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not just the musician, you're also the producing, recording engineer on all of this. This
Right.
is super DIY. I didn't realize you were doing all of the, all the
yeah.
indie things. Are you also
yeah.
doing your own mastering too?
Well, so I've done that for a lot of my things, but the Goliath was such a big project. It kind of felt ridiculous to do it all myself, and I also knew that someone else could do it better than me. So I actually contacted River from now Big Lake Recording. Her band is Emo Girls Kissing.
Yes.
Who has also played at Oddfellows recently. And really, I thought she was a very cool person. It was maybe honestly, before Goliath was actually finished. And I really didn't know how to make friends with anyone in Burlington living an hour away when I couldn't go to shows yet.
Yep.
So I was maybe I'll just hire people. Truthfully. I was if I work with her, that gives me an excuse to talk to her, and maybe we can just be friends if she thinks I'm cool.
Yes.
And I was 17, because I guess how old I was when I kind of started this thing. And she actually said yes to doing mastering on this 8-hour album. I was giving her all of that info ahead of time because I wanted her to know what she was getting into. And she did the first 3 parts for free.
That's crazy.
Like I didn't have a job really at the time.
Well, you're just a kid,
right,
so, like,
yeah,
that's not
yeah.
really
It
expected.
took me a while to even get my driver's license. And so she was just like, yeah, I mean, I'll do, pay me when you can, but like she did say she would do it all for free if that's what I needed. And eventually, I kind of had my own life situation. She had her own life situations that like kind of got in the way of part 4.
Yeah.
All the other 3 parts came out like throughout 2024, and part 4 was supposed to be early 2025, and then it got delayed an entire year because of what kind of like both of us were going through individually.
Yeah, that's fair.
And in that time, I kind of got my shit together and got a job, got a little more stable, ended up moving to Burlington, and was actually able to pay her for part 4 at least.
Nice.
And I mean, I love her because she would have done it anyway. And she just like, we really enjoy working together. It kind of feels like opposite sides of the same coin because like I'm more songwriter focused, but I've picked up the engineering stuff because I have to.
Yeah.
And she has done way deeper dives on all of these engineering practices that I'm just like not totally willing to get into the weeds on.
Yeah.
So she like really knows what she's doing in a way that I don't.
It's such a huge undertaking.
Yeah, I
mad
especially
respect
just
for
for
anyone
like
who can, even if you're doing it DIY. Like, I have mad respect for
Yeah.
you doing it yourself, but
right, yeah, but like I still get to the point where like I do mastering and it's like kind of just pressing a button.
yeah,
Because I don't really know what I'm doing, and I use like a preset in Ableton, and I just kind
Right.
of tweak some knobs a little bit. Like she really knows the ins and outs of it, and has definitely done a way better job with all of Goliath than I could have done. We're gonna work on a song together.
nice.
She wants a good like example song to show off with what she can do with her skills in her space.
Cool.
And she asked me for quote a really good song. And tasked me with presenting her with one. So we've scheduled some studio time and we're gonna kind of just like bang out a song in roughly a day.
Nice.
And
That's
I'll
cool.
probably put that out as a single at some point. Maybe I'll do like my version on an album, and then the single will be like Rivers' version or something
Right.
like that. Because I'm still trying to figure out how like collaborative I want the War Turtles to be, because it's always just been my thing, and I'm getting to the point where I am working with other people now.
Right.
And so like when it comes to writing or just like weaning into letting other people do production or things like that, it's like it's still very new to me.
Yeah.
And-
That's the qualm with the being very independent.
right.
like-
yeah.
It's great when you can do all of these things to yourself, but it's also really stressful and tiring, and you have to know so many things.
Right. It's like very much by necessity, and kind of like necessity is the mother of invention type thing.
Yes.
You know, because I mean, I wouldn't have done any of it this way if I just like had people in rural Vermont, Mooresville, who knew what shoegaze was.
Yeah, that's
like
not a thing. out
Like
in the middle
like
of nowhere.
yeah, like no one like yeah, like that's a big part of why I came to Burlington, because like I talk about these bands that are my influences, and people actually know who I'm talking about here.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like there were all of these like 30 to 50-year-olds playing at bars and
Yes.
open
and
mics
like honky tonk.
who would just like their eyes would go blank when I bring up these bands, and then they'd be like, "Oh, there's this part of this song that you played where it kind of sounds like Kiss. You like Kiss?"
Right.
And
Right.
I was like, I mean,
Or classic rock.
I
Guys.
did kind of grow up on classic rock, but like that's not what I'm trying to do.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to find people who can do these things with me. And when I was younger, because I never really came to Burlington that much, I just didn't get exposed to it all that much. I thought I like kind of had to leave. Like there was actually a little while before I met River and before I met some other people where I just thought that even in Burlington there was no scene like this. Because I had no clue.
Yes, and-
I kind of, growing up here, I viewed the whole state as a monolith because I never really got to travel through it.
Yes, and even just getting to Burlington, that's it.
Right.
You're an hour away or more from
Right.
Burlington. As a kid, that's not accessible.
Right. Like I'm an hour away. Higher ground shows were always like even like more expensive than I
Yes.
could really afford with my family.
Yeah.
And then it was like, trying to convince my mom to like bring some 12-year-old to a higher ground show.
Exactly.
Like,
It's not that easy.
Yeah, that's the world that I lived in.
I'm guessing you missed 242 as well.
Yes,
Yes.
unfortunately. And actually, it is a thing that my parents probably would have tried to bring me to, but they didn't even come to Burlington enough to find out about it.
Right.
Like my parents aren't from Vermont originally. They're from like Maine and New Hampshire, and then they ended up moving here after having kids. So they didn't really get to like grow up finding out about anything. They had like a couple friends here, but nobody to really inform them of what was happening
Right.
around here. They were just finding everything out for themselves, fish out of water.
Yeah. I mean, like we have the internet now to find these small little venues.
Right,
But when you're,
yeah.
let's say you've got a 12-year-old who wants to come see a show in Burlington, it's like Higher
Right.
Ground or Nectar's, and you can't go to Nectar's because it was a bar.
Right. Yeah. It's like even though like they lived here since the mid 90s and then like, had 4 kids by the early 2000s. And they were just stuck in Lamoille County and, had no clue other than like, all right, we got to go to Williston for Walmart.
Yeah, right.
Like we
Right. Gotta buy clothes. So let's
Right,
go to
yeah.
Chittenden County.
yeah. Yeah, I know there's a Costco somewhere out here.
Right. It's like the big draw of Colchester.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so when is your next show? I'm going to release this on Tuesday.
Oh, yes. So the next show is actually April 4th. This is, I believe that's a Saturday. And that is at Radio Bean.
Cool. Light Club or Radio Bean proper?
Radio Bean proper. And
Nice.
and this is going to be my first straight up Radio Bean show. I have played Light Club before.
That's a big
I
deal.
want to
Cool.
double check who I'm playing with. I know. So I am actually. It's kind of. I'm gonna drop a little secret here. I think it's like semi-secret for now, but an obvious secret. I am going to be playing drums for this show in Star Farm.
Oh, cool.
That's
very cool.
Their drummer is moving out. I can't exactly do it like full time, but I did offer to help out with some shows coming up.
Nice.
At least just this one, and see how it goes from there. So I will be playing drums in Star Farm. I'll also be playing with Assorted Fruit, who I love very much, and
Yes,
they
I
played
love
at
Assorted
Oddfellows a
Fruit.
lot. And then I'll be opening with the War Turtles.
Cool. That's a busy night.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of honestly happened a lot for me, where I end up doing 2 things in a night.
Yeah. I didn't realize you played drums too. What else do you play? So
I've been trying to find people to put me on drums more recently because I have a lot of fun doing it. And I mean, I do drums all over my albums. But I started with guitar. Then I picked up, and I always like sang. And then I picked up keyboards, bass, drums. I have also, on occasion, done kalimba, banjo, lap steel,
Nice.
and some other miscellaneous things, I guess. But yeah, there is actually like this band that I used to work with, and they kind of used to be my backing band, and I played in their band, and I was just their like Swiss Army knife. We kind of all switched instruments in the band, but literally they're the ones that got me on banjo, and I was like, I don't think I can play banjo. And they were
That doesn't even matter.
They were like, it's two chords.
you
We
can
know
do it.
you. Just
twang
hold
it.
it for a second, and then I just kind of got it.
Yeah, if you can play guitar,
And I ended up
adjacent.
doing banjo on a couple songs live sometimes with them.
Sweet.
That band was called Hard Tellin'.
Nice.
Kind of classic Vermont joke. Their logo is basically just the Darn Tough logo, but it says Hard Tellin' instead of Darn Tough.
Hard telling, not knowing.
Exactly.
I haven't thought about that phrase in a while. Yeah, I grew up with that though. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. That's what it means. Is I don't know.
I
But
mean, yeah,
hard
literally,
telling,
it just
not
means I don't
knowing.
know.
Just saying it with extra words.
Right.
A little more rustic charm.
Yeah. And yeah, like that was a very fun band for me to be in. It definitely like, it's more like kind of twangy and like weird, like country kind of lo-fi stuff, but like it pushed me out of my comfort zone a lot.
Yeah.
It got me to do stuff I wouldn't do in the War Turtles.
I love
And
folky stuff.
I
Like-
also helped them record.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Um,
Okay.
So they have a couple EPs out, and they're gonna like hire me to come do a third EP or something.
Sweet.
I
I think I have seen this logo. Now that you say that, I think I have seen this around.
Yeah, I think I might actually. Oh yeah, I've got some of the stickers on me.
Oh, sweet.
So there you go. Enjoy a nice vintage Hard Talent sticker.
You know what I also have for you? Look, we're doing a sticker button exchange.
I will wear these with glee.
Very cool. Okay, so hard talent is still a thing, but you're not like a direct
Yes.
member of it still.
Yes,
You're
yeah.
adjacent.
Where we're at now is I am like an honorary Hard Talent member.
Okay.
And they are all still honorary War Turtles. But I haven't really played with them in a while.
Hard turtles.
Yes. Yeah. There were a couple Hard Turtles show where it was like I would open and then we would go into their stuff, and it's literally just the same band,
Right.
but like changing who are the front people and like the group of songs.
That's fun.
And it was a very different vibe because their whole thing was like all their songs are funny but sad at the same time. And then mine are just like kind of very self-serious and emotional, and me doing some indie rock confessional shit. And I thought it was a hilarious contrast, and it usually kind of like swept people away a little bit because they didn't expect us to be able to do both.
Right.
You know, they were like, we were either a goofy bar band or this like a really atmospheric kind of angry thing. And we were also both, you know, it wasn't one or the other. And that was kind of like the first band that I really got to like cut my teeth with performing live for like 2-ish years.
Right.
So
Cool.
I do, they're very much still honorary War Turtles. I have a lot of honor and respect for them.
Where are they based out of?
So they are based out of Mooresville
Okay,
in
so they are
Stowe
rural.
area.
Yeah.
So that's where I used to live, and so it was kind of just much easier to make the distance.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And it's interesting the like eclectic nature of Vermont musician people.
Right. Yeah.
I love like a weird mix of some folky country stuff, but like
Right.
modern country's this really like pigeonholed kind of ugly thing with a lot of
Yeah.
marketing shoved in it. And I think that's sort of like folky. We're gonna throw a banjo in and like
Right.
experiment is so much more like culturally accurate to the area.
Right. Yeah. Like they were very open. They were like, we like this like country and bluegrass stuff, but also we like they were really big into the Dead Milkmen and like this
Nice.
kind of like indie rock stuff like Pavement and like all this kind of 90s stuff. They Beck as well.
Yeah. Yeah, back that
and-
yeah, that's kind of one of those like pioneers of
Right,
like we're gonna
yeah.
use a little bit of some folky twangy stuff.
Right. Yeah, and it's because they genuinely love it, but also they just like refuse to not bring other stuff into it. You know, they
Yeah.
weren't just gonna do the folky stuff, and so I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um,
Because your stuff, when I got to see you play,
Yeah.
the indie like almost a little bit prog, a little progressive, but not prog rock.
Right.
Definitely not. Like you're still shoegaze, but you're a little progressive. But also
Yeah.
like I want to get the right word here because you're mixing so much with the synth and all of the different sounds. It almost like towed into like a vaguely industrial, but not like shoegaze industrial, not like very eclectic, cool sound that I was super impressed. I didn't know what to expect when I heard about the War Turtles. I thought you were more like folk punky, just based on an assumption of who you played with on a previous show, and
Right.
you were not at all, and you had so much going on with your sound setup, but it sounded so good.
Thank you. I am specifically stoked to hear someone use the term industrial to describe the War Turtles.
That's it. It's not like, oh, this is industrial like Nine Inch Nails, but it's
Right.
just like touching that sort of. I always think of the bands they featured in Scott Pilgrim. Some of those, like specifically him with the drum machine. There was
Right.
like these parts where I was like, oh, this is really cool. And there's very few bands that I know what to call it exactly. So I end up using that term. I'm like, it's like indie industrial, but
Right.
I don't know what to call it.
Yeah. Like I'm very interested in like fake sounds for the sake of fake sounds. You know, like I love some good machinery.
Yeah.
I do actually like Nine Inch Nails.
Yes.
But like there's a lot of artists that I listen to that aren't like exactly industrial, but they're usually like industrial adjacent.
Yes, exactly.
Like a huge influence on me is the band Swans.
Okay. I don't think I know them, but
And that is actually a big part of why I use synths the way that I do, and also part of where I get the massive song structures from, where it's like a little progressive in that way, but not in the prog rock way where there's like a million parts in it and it's like a super.
there's a lot
Like-
of notes in progressive, and you're doing
Right.
shoegaze where it's much more chill.
Yeah, and it's like it's also like progressive is like it's very exact.
yes,
and I always do things that are way more improvised leaning, or just like specifically like leaving space for improvising even if there's a structure.
yeah,
And so like a lot of the bands that I listen to kind of fall into post rock. That's
Okay.
kind of, no one tends to know it, unfortunately. People know shoegaze more than they know post rock.
yes.
But
Yeah, I don't think I know
were
that
to give
genre.
it a genre, that is what kind of mostly aligns with the War Turtles, because it's like it is very open in terms of the sound choices, but it's more like this like ethic of really taking your time, and like most songs are 10 to 12 minutes or 10 to 20. I have plenty of 30-minute songs.
Yeah.
Um
Okay, post rock. Let's pause for a moment.
yes.
Do you have a famous band that I and other listeners might know that is like classified as post rock? Because
Well,
I'm
so-
scratching my head because I
like,
actually don't know
it's-
that one, and I know a lot of these.
Like it's a hard thing to pull because it's like like historically kind of an underground genre.
Okay.
But some of the more popular ones are this band Slint with an album called Spiderland.
I have heard of Slint. I don't think I've heard
It's
like that
if
album.
you've seen the cover, maybe it's like this black and white cover of these four heads poking out of the water.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
and there's also this band from Chicago called Tortoise, who is another funny enough, War Turtles, Tortoise. But
Influential
they're
on the
like
Turtles.
very defining band for post rock.
Okay, cool.
It's
Yeah.
like mainly a genre that seemed to birth out of the like mid 90s.
Yeah.
That's kind of when the first albums that were getting called post rock started appearing.
Shoegaze also around
Yes.
that. Okay. Yes,
Yeah,
that
and
makes sense.
I guess older. There's a band called Talk Talk.
Okay. I have heard of Talk Talk. I don't think I've ever really listened
They
to them, though.
they
to be
have a
honest.
couple albums, The Spirit of Eden and Laughing Stock, which are both albums I listened to a little later, but I would call them influences.
Yeah.
And they very much like there's also like kind of like an ethic with post rock of using the studio as an instrument. And like kind of as a part of the songwriting process with like a lot of samples or like editing together things that originally had nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that experimenting that you couldn't do. You
right.
couldn't do this 50 years ago. None of
Right.
this stuff. So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It's like just music with a lot of patience and experimentation and kind of just like for like I wouldn't really call Radiohead post rock
Yeah.
because they to be honest are usually trying to be like more catchy and like more to the point.
Yes.
But like I usually say it's kind of like if Radiohead was just like regularly pulling 8 to 10 minute songs. If they were kind of a little more laid back and
Right.
patient in their approach.
Interesting.
That's kind of what post rock is because it's like it's very much that level of experimentation. But like you can kind of tell that those are like still like rock guys.
right.
You know what
Yeah, oh,
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
definitely.
Like post rock definitely implies that it's like it's not just like after rock, it's like we're done with rock. Like maybe we still like it, but like as a genre name, it's like we're past it. You know,
Cool.
and they're like discarding a lot of things, but it's like really heavy music that's not metal. And like even if it's instrumental, it tends to still be emotional.
Right. This
There-
is cool. I'm going to have to check out a bunch of these.
there's actually
albums.
probably a lot more instrumental post rock bands than bands with vocals.
Yes. I personally, I get torn on this because I like vocals. We all like vocals.
Right.
Sometimes they don't add
Yeah.
anything of value, though. That's like, I love a lot of metal, but I'm always kind of like, wow, I wanted to know what this sounded like
Right.
before you screamed over it.
Yeah.
Would it be interesting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I personally do enjoy a lot of instrumental music. Cool. This is really cool because that's it. I do not know anything about post rock, so I feel like I need to do more research now.
One last band I will mention is Godspeed You Black Emperor. That is kind of a more popular one, a little more recent.
Okay. They sound like a metal band. Or a heavy,
a little bit.
whatever you want to call
but
it.
they've actually played in Vermont a handful of times. I saw them once here before.
Cool.
I know Fisher is actually a fan of them, and he saw one of their previous shows that I didn't get to see here. But another like huge influence on me, and there's maybe like 4 or 5 bands that are part of the reason why post rock got popular as a name, and Godspeed are one of them.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check them out because that's it. I love heavy music too, so I feel like I've been missing something.
Right.
When you say like they're heavy, but there's less vocals, I'm like, wow, this sounds right up my alley.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm like name dropping a million. I'll also mention Explosions in the Sky. Not that one's like a huge influence on me, but they seem to have a pretty big like pull in some ways.
Yeah.
And like they do shows at Higher Ground and they're always sold out.
Oh, cool.
Like all instrumental, very influenced by Godspeed. Like it's a scene that's been around for a while, so there's like almost like generations of it.
Right.
Where like the 90s stuff are like the originators and like they're still around, but then there's the people who grew up listening to that in a way.
Right.
And like I'm probably like third or fourth gen post rock if we're
Yeah.
thinking about it that way.
It's crazy to think that the 90s is as old as it is now, because that's
Right.
when you grew up in the 90s.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
no, this is very modern. But now we're going on four decades we're working like
Right.
towards, which is insane to think about. And that's a lot of time and a lot of like
Yeah.
teenagers.
Yeah, well,
Your
yeah, like
teenage years are so short.
I was born in 2003 and then finding stuff like this as a 15-year-old, you know?
Right.
So that's like 2017, 2018-ish, you know? Like that's a lot of time for things to happen and for new things to come out and
Yes.
and
And the internet has just sped all of this up because
Right.
you used to not be able to find this stuff, right?
Right.
Like small bands would make a CD or whatever, but only their like locals knew about their subgenre that they had
Right.
invented. But now because you can find everything on the internet and the golden age of YouTube, when it used to suggest similar tracks of very unknown,
Yeah.
awesome artists, that used to be the best way to find new music.
yeah.
Now everything is just blending together and changing so quickly. I love what the internet has done for music. Personally, I know we all have qualms with social media, but it's really cool though. Like, cause stuff like this,
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't really know anything about this. It's one of those things that's always like a little shocking when you're in the music scene and you're just like,
Yeah.
wow, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
And
yeah.
this is something with a rich history that's been going on for 30 plus years.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and I am kind of a history nerd at some like on some levels, and I mean, this is one of the things that drives me crazy. Where it's like, there's this whole thing that's been existing right next to you for all this time, and you have no clue about it. You know, just when you finally make that discovery and realize there's this thing you've never heard of.
Yeah.
That makes me want to like dive in so hard.
And just learn more about it.
Right. Yeah. Like the ice breaks and I kind of can't help myself.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel with Oddfellows a little bit.
I was just gonna ask, are you officially an Oddfellow?
We're talking about it. I did actually.
Same. I am also not officially, but
I
talking
did
about it.
straight up tell Zach that I would like to set up my initiation, do whatever I need to do for that.
Yes. Cool. Okay.
But like the last time I was there, we were actually kind of stacked in terms of sound people, so I didn't need to do that much.
Yeah.
And so I ended up sitting in the back of the room, and I was just sitting on the floor next to the drink cooler and reading one of the Oddfellows books that they had lying
Nice.
around.
Yes. There's so much.
It was like one of the like actually like the history book that Zach has recommended a few times. I did actually listen to the episode that you did with them, and that was honestly one of my last like straws for just being like, all right, I think this is for me.
Same. That
like,
conversation was so interesting.
Just hearing how they talk about it specifically and the way that they describe it, it's just like it's so clear that it would like not just be helpful for me, but like something I would very much enjoy, and like obviously it's helpful for the community, and that's something I'm like very much trying to get more into now that I have a community like I do in Burlington. Like I kind of fought for a long time to get here and to get to a place where like I had this sort of community.
yes.
So like I want to get on it sooner rather than later in terms of like inputting back.
Yes. Joining up. Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
not about you, but I'm also thinking of joining probably in July when I'm done the classes that I'm doubling up on right now.
Right. Yeah.
So if you do wait another month or two, maybe we could get initiated together.
Right. Yeah. Like, and it's also like, the way they were talking about how helpful it is for if you're just like going through stuff, not just that it's like it's not like therapy,
Right.
but like the having that extra source of like people that you can just talk to, not even specifically ask for help, but just like people that you trust and are there for you. I've been going through some stuff recently, and I personally I'm in a weird spot where like my life is not just in the gutter.
Yeah.
It's like I have a lot of really good things going on right now. It's just I'm also dealing with some difficult stuff and don't want to get too lost in that.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's always important to just like reach out to people and times like these. And that's definitely a thing that has got me more interested in Oddfellows, because like they kind of provide that, but also you get the chance to do that for other people as well.
Yes. We should mention that you're helping with sound specifically at the Oddfellows shows. There's so many people involved helping that are not actual members at the Oddfellows that just want to help the community.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been working with them doing sound stuff for maybe 4 months now.
That's crazy to think that it's just been since the beginning of the year. Which, by the way, we are hoping to find a time to do like a real training session where we can set stuff up, have people bring their bring some instruments.
Yeah.
And then we can just look together and document it more, which is what I was hoping to do at the beginning of January. But honestly, the system wasn't ready. We weren't ready for that. But that'd be a great time to bring in some other people who I know are also interested, but they're like hesitant because it's a lot to jump into. Just FYI, community vibes around the shows at Oddfellows and just keeping them going.
Yeah.
It's people like Emma and I and Fisher and Zach and Riley and I was going to say there's like 10 people. Andy too, Andy Max.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm missing other people, but there's a lot of people putting these together.
There's like still so many people who have just no clue about Oddfellows at all. Like never mind that they even do shows.
Right.
Like I'm still regularly finding random people around Burlington that I'm telling them about some show that I have or whatever, and it's people who have lived here, longer than I could dream of, and they just have no clue.
Yeah. I've met people in their 50s born in Burlington who are like, what are the Oddfellows?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That really cool painted building.
Right. It's something that draws your eye, but also at the same time, it's just like it just immediately creates its own mystery, and it makes you think it's unknowable, but it's like you could just walk in.
Yeah, and people are really cool and want to hang out in a community sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we kind of talked about that I when I moved to Colchester, was going to Hannaford in the New North End. And every single time I drive by, I was doing the whiplash thing.
Right.
Because I'm like, what the heck is it? Like, there's no big sign. It's all artsy and colorful. I have no idea. And then all of a sudden, we're like, oh, yeah, we're doing a show. Like, we're booking a show there.
Right.
What? So cool. Anyway, not to go down a complete Oddfellows, we could talk about Oddfellows forever, I think. Your unreleased albums, are you ever going to release the unreleased albums, or are they permanently unreleased?
Well, so the plan is slowly. Part of the issue is I have the ones that I've been sitting on for a little while, and then I keep writing new stuff and new albums are forming.
Fair.
So I had I placed an embargo on myself with Goliath because I didn't want to break up the flow of releasing Goliath.
Fair.
And then part 4 took a year longer than expected. And once again, I'm writing that entire time. So I when I was like really finishing up Goliath, 2014, really, there was already like maybe 2.5 albums there that weren't Goliath. And then, yeah, it took a year. I told myself I'm not releasing anything else until Goliath comes out. Goliath finally came out late February. And so now the embargo is lifted. And I am just sitting on Smaug's gold mountain of things that need to come out at like a reasonable pace to not be overwhelming and kind of like overcrowd each other.
I mean,
But-
4 months.
But
That
like,
should be plenty, right?
Yeah. So like, I'll say next up, I have a single coming out next month, actually, with a show at Oddfellows.
Nice.
Um,
Yes, I think I saw the poster. It's
that
like a
is
triple
the-
single release,
yes,
right?
it is, because we were talking about putting that together, and we were just talking about what we could do theming wise, and Riley from Coven, and she her project is She with the Lightning. She mentioned that she had a single. We could maybe make it a single release show for her. Then Nadia also had a single. I also just have a million things that I'm sitting on. So it just turned into like, why don't we all release something? And like, we're kind of 3 people who are all just sitting on stuff and need to get moving in one way or another.
Perfect.
So I think it's kind of like great motivation for all of us. I know I've talked about that with Riley a lot, because she like has some sort of like perfectionist tendencies and like just kind of complicated feelings about like
So fair.
releasing stuff, putting stuff on streaming services nowadays. She like has a lot of thoughts going into this and has just been very careful with what she does put out.
Yeah.
But she's also trying to loosen that a little bit. And I think Nadia is maybe going through a similar thing of like trying to adjust to like what just letting things go is like for her now. That she's kind of like in a different place.
Right.
And I love that I get to do something like that, and this is gonna be like a lead in for my next release. I'll have the single coming out with the show, and it's kind of like a teaser for the EP that's gonna come out maybe May.
Nice.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. We're moving along.
Yeah, I'm thinking it'll be the single comes out in April, then the EP that the single is from is in May, and then I've got a lot of stuff that I like honestly haven't planned out the order of it.
Right.
And some of them still need like finishing touches because I just get it like 90% finished.
Fair.
And then I know I can't release it yet, so I just start moving on.
Yeah.
And now I've got to go back and do all the like the little TLC.
Right.
But yeah, there's I would say about 6 to 7 unreleased projects of just like all different styles. And most of them have names.
Nice. Very cool. That's so not. I love people who make art in that sort of way where it's like, I'm not going to stop.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just going to keep going. And like, it's not, like you said, you get it mostly done and you're like, good enough for now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to stop though. I'm not going to just sit there and like pick it apart. I'm a pick it apart person. I'm not very
Yeah.
good about like, you know, that perfectionism where you don't want to let it go. You just
Right.
want to
Yeah.
sit there and keep picking.
I am not the type of person that does a million revisions. I've kind of tried to put a lot of effort into to not be that way.
Yes, you can't get stuff done and be that way.
Yeah, like to me the first performance or like take where the song is still kind of half formed and you're still kind of working your way through it. It's like it's very interesting to me. And sometimes even if it's, you know, not what you would have done when you're more practiced with it, it's got like something to it you should kind of respect.
Right.
And this is something I've gotten from the White Stripes. Jack White worked that way. Also, one of my more recent influences, Jason Molina. Very much just trying to go for like the first take possible so that things are the most fresh, even if that makes them more raw.
Yeah.
That's also part of why I end up working so quickly, because a lot of times I'll write a song and record it with a voice memo just so I don't forget it.
Yes.
And then I listen back to the voice memo and I'm like, I could just record around this. Like there was actually this song from an album that'll be out at some point. And I've been playing this one live. It's called Bleed. Um, but I set up for a voice memo and forgot that my phone was still connected to my Bluetooth headphones.
Oh.
And they were literally like across the room. So I'm playing the song and singing on an electric guitar that's not plugged in,
Yeah.
and it's recording through my Bluetooth headphones. And it's just like this really crunchy, kind of like almost
Right.
like glitchy
Unique
recording
sound, right?
that like I would have never thought to get on my own. And it was just me like trying to not forget the song. It was like literally it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying not to sing too loud because my roommates are asleep. And I just thought it was so specific and doing things that I could never recreate intentionally. I just built the whole actual studio recording off of it.
Cool.
Because it was kind of solid enough. And if the performance is like good enough, even if it's fresh, then you can work with it and just lean into how fresh and improvised it is.
Right.
And I love always performing things different.
Yeah.
You know, like I love getting to change a song every time I do it in some way. So if I play the song and record it in a way that I'll never be able to do again because it was my first time playing it, that is perfect. That is completely fine by me because I don't want to play it the same way.
Right.
Like, especially if I do it live, I don't want to try to recreate the magic. I'll just make some new magic that's completely fresh.
Right.
And yeah, just like it's very like scattershot. And just like fire and move on.
Cool.
And that's definitely part of why I've ended up with so many songs and just like, okay, I guess I've recorded a whole album in 2 months or like come up with a whole album in 2 months.
Right.
Now I just need to get better recordings or whatever it is. The
Very cool.
concepts come together very quickly.
That's so cool. I love, just playing with the sounds, the different, when you say your Bluetooth headphones, like that's so
Yeah.
cool. That's one of those things, like even, it would be so hard to recreate it again, right?
Right.
If you like it and you're like, this is awesome, but I don't like this take enough. I need to do 20 more takes.
Right, yeah.
It'd be the same.
Right. Yeah, let me set up the Bluetooth headphones and try to place them in the right spot and try to like,
Right.
like do it scientifically, like that kind of like maybe it'll work, but yeah, it sort of loses a lot.
Right. That, get the term here wrong here, but that like ephemeral quality of every musical performance only happens once. Like we can
Right.
record it and we can do all these like fun artsy things to them and play it over and over again.
Yeah.
The actual like event of you playing that song that way, and it's the same with people who are even well rehearsed. Like
Right.
it's not exactly the same every time. The atmosphere of the place you play it, like all of these things
Right.
really affect those moments. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. That's really cool to hear about. Awesome. Okay, I think we're coming up on, I think we've got 45 minutes at least of like solid recordings.
Yeah.
Say it again. When is your next show? April.
April 4th
Is that one at Radio Bean?
at Radio Me. Yes.
At Radio Bean. Okay, April 4th at Radio Bean. The War Turtles. Look for it. Your Instagram and your Bandcamp are both the War Turtles.
Yes.
With the. Don't forget the.
Yes.
And this is the 64th episode. So the show notes will be at vermonttalks.com/64 for Emma's episode. Emma, is there anything else that we have forgotten or that you want to say before we wrap things up?
I don't care that I started young. Anyone can start making music now. Your 10,000 hours needs to start someday. I kind of get that a lot. I know I shred or whatever people say that I do, but I full-heartedly believe that any person who starts today can be better than me than at any instrument. You know, like it's just about what you do with it. So if you want to make music, do it. If you want to make art, do it. That's all I will include.
Yes. Yes. Wise words. Okay. Thank you so much, Emma, for coming on the show and
Yes, of
doing this
course.
fun experimental episode.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to see how this has turned out.
Me too. Thanks for listening. Bye. Okay. Hit the record and that shuts it off. Thanks so much for listening to the end of the show. Subscribe to Vermont Talks on your favorite podcasting platform. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all over the web. Contact Becca at vermonttalks.com if you'd like to be interviewed or if you know someone who should be. Thanks so much to Jason Baker for creating the show music. The views and opinions expressed by the guests are those of the individuals and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Vermont Talks. Any content or statements provided by our guests are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything. And that's what was new in the 802. Have a great day.